Hello and welcome, dear friend. Something has been going on with your reflection lately, in addition to the mirror, but from other people's perspective. You've been noticing looks, long looks, and that subdued tension. People seem to sense something different, but they are unsure of how to express it verbally. They seem to be realizing something about you. In actuality, though, you're only now realizing it for yourself. You're beginning to appear more appealing. However, it's not because you altered your posture, your hairstyle, or your attire. You began to love yourself as God's exquisite creation, which is why. You began to see that you were never broken, only buried and distorted by the voices telling you that you weren't good enough, and you stopped thinking of yourself as a mistake that needed to be fixed. You're not merely growing more attractive, you're finally seeing the beauty that has always been there, just waiting for you to notice it. That's the change. You used to refer to them as defects. You now consider them to be designs. You used to get shy when people complimented you. Since you secretly agree, you don't recoil now, and not in a haughty manner, not in a need for approval, but rather in a calm, grounded manner that acknowledges that, yes, this is who I've always been. This is what occurs when the image of you in heaven begins to erode your sense of self. When you at last give in to the notion that perhaps, just possibly, God did not make a mistake when creating you, that perhaps your appearance, your presence, and your aura were planned, deliberate, and spoken into time. It's not that you weren't attractive once. You were, of course, you are, of course, but you're aware of it now, and that awareness is what they perceive. They are experiencing that frequency. Symmetry alone is not beauty. It's resonance. It goes beyond what is visible. It's the sensation you get when you're with someone. Additionally, your body had to react to the frequency at which you are currently vibrating. You appear to have clearer eyes. Your complexion appears more radiant. There is a tenderness in your expression that cannot be produced. It's more than just glow. God is that. That is the result of beginning to agree with heaven and ceasing to reject your own reflection. When you begin radiating love from within and cease looking for it. When you understand that your value is derived from your presence, your purpose, the fire in your spirit, and the breath in your lungs rather than from perfection. The change won't be understood by everyone. They will believe that you started something new or something novel, but this is what actually transpired. You began to hear the truth. You gave up trying to achieve what society deemed attractive, and since you stopped attempting to win people over, you began to become magnetic. You are treating yourself with the same respect that God showed you when He made you. That glow is on a different level. It isn't surface. Soul is that. People are now reacting to something they are unable to identify. They are reacting to your freedom, your inner peace, and the love you have finally chosen to give yourself. They don't understand why, but they feel safer around you. Without you saying a word, they are inspired because doubt no longer clouds your presence, and they sense it whether or not they give you a compliment. They notice whether they say anything or not. Since you can now see yourself and it shows, you are no longer pleading to be noticed. This is an unfake frequency. It's the sort of beauty that speaks for itself before you do, something that comes into a room before you do. That means that long after you've left, people will still be thinking about you, not only due to your appearance, but also to your brightness. In actuality, it has always existed. To fit in, it was simply waiting for you to stop dimming it. You are no longer attempting to please everyone. You've turned into living water that can only satisfy specific souls. It's not necessary to seek admiration. You are now the object of admiration. Therefore, don't be shocked if people now perceive you differently. It's not because you suddenly changed. It's because you began walking in harmony with God and at last ceased arguing with your own brilliance. Some refuse to speak. They will merely observe, as if something about you triggers something they are unable to manage or causes them to become confused. You used to have erratic energy. You used to conduct yourself with hesitation, apology, explanation, and disclaimers. But now that you finally think you do, you walk like you belong. The body responds when a person at last accepts their own divine design and believes in it. The voice calms down. Their skin, their presence, and the pauses between words all exhibit the light. It has nothing to do with appearance. It has to do with leading a particular lifestyle. And love is like that. You are no longer seeking love. It is ingrained in you. And that is the most exquisite item of clothing a person could ever wear. You see, appearance isn't the only factor here. It's also about your demeanor, how you act out of knowledge rather than uncertainty. You've stopped acting. You're not attempting to gain approval by bending, blending, or changing your shape. Strangely enough, that's what makes you appealing right now. You no longer have to worry about being liked, and discovered that God, not just other people, loves them. And lastly, through you. After you've come to terms with your reflection, you no longer enter the world the same way. You can forgive yourself for the years you were unable to see what heaven had already witnessed. When you begin to honor the person who knows so much more and cease lamenting the previous iterations of yourself that only knew survival, this is not the time to develop your beauty. This is a time when you're coming to terms with the fact that your body now recognizes who you always were. You convey it with your face. It's reflected in your walk. Because you have discovered a secret formula, you are not attractive. Your energy finally aligns with your truth, which makes you appealing. Your glow no longer contains conflict. Don't be ashamed of your tenderness. In your elegance, there was no apology. You're not adorning yourself with eye-catching items. Something that cannot be replicated is being radiated by you. Additionally, those who are meant for you will sense it before they even comprehend it. Because this beauty goes beyond appearances, it is rooted in the soul. Since it is not composed of time, it is the type that endures over time. It is composed of sacred remembrance, divine alignment, and presence. Perhaps that's what they perceive. Perfection is not what they are aiming for. They are staring at someone who has at last regained their identity. Someone who began respecting the spirit that fills the vessel instead of disparaging it. Someone who declared, "I don't have to grow up. All I have to do is stop hiding who I am." This explains why some people are now unable to speak in your presence. Why do they stumble over their words, look twice, or act as though you've changed when you're just more straightforward? It's not the attire, the makeup, or the angle. It's the vitality. The Creator's love is echoed by the frequency of self-love, the sound of tranquility that surpasses all beauty standards. It's the choice to be both strong and gentle at the same time. And people are attracted to that. Explaining it is not your responsibility. Their responses are not your responsibility. Your purpose is not to persuade others that you are deserving of attention. In any case, you're here to shine, to move with that serene brilliance that declares, "I am aware of my identity, and it is lovely." God already said that, not because I said it. You don't have to continuously change your brightness to accommodate their comfort level. Dim spaces weren't designed for your glow. It was intended to awaken, provoke thought, and serve as a reminder of the true appearance and sensation of divine beauty. Thus, continue to shine and live by this truth. Continue to love yourself as though you've finally come to terms with your value. Allow them to stare if they do. Allow them to wonder if they do. You're not changing who you are. You're just now realizing what God has always seen. Everyone else is now as well. I sincerely appreciate you joining me on this journey. If this message resonated with you, please subscribe to stay updated, like, and share it with someone who might find it useful. Select the video that most speaks to you from the collection on your screen to continue your awakening journey. I'll see you there.